Hi everyone, Carol Allen, Vedic Astrologer and Relationship Coach. Today I want to talk about the union of Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas. They of course got married last week in an epic 5-day cultural mashup. They had a Christian wedding, they had an Indian wedding, they had a blessing ceremony, they had a fire ceremony, they had a sing-off, dance-off, they had an extravaganza, which is how they do it in India, which is pretty awesome, and complete with fireworks at a castle. It looked unbelievable. Meghan Markle, eat your heart out. So I, of course, was very excited because we don't know a lot about the love stories of very many Indian people, and I of course owe India everything. So it's really fun for me to be able to share with you the stars of an Indian star. Now, if you're scratching your head going, who is Priyanka Chopra? It is this gorgeous creature. She was Miss India at 17 and Miss World at 18, and this of course launched her Bollywood career. She did over 50 Bollywood movies. And then more serious movies. So she sings, she dances, she acts her little heart out. She's won the equivalent of the Oscar in India. She is the hands down biggest movie star in India. And that is a very big deal. They have a huge film culture there. And keep in mind, they have 1 billion people. We are like a little teeny island compared to India over here in America. It's a huge place, so she is an incredibly ambitious girl. She set her sights on global domination, as she likes to say. She came to the US and she had her own TV show. She's done a few movies here, including Baywatch and a few others. And she is a UNICEF ambassador, helping with philanthropy and volunteering for children. She's been named Time Magazine's 100 top most influential people, one of their most influential people 2 years in a row. She's a producer. She became a pop star over here. She does songs with people like, I don't know, Pitbull, who is on my Pandora channel. I have a Pitbull channel. Yes, I do. I know you're shocked. But anyway, and then of course Nick Jonas is one of the Jonas brothers. Became massive sellers as teenagers. He's the front man, he's the lead singer. They had their own Disney shows. They all went off doing their own solo careers. He was nominated for, that was a doorknob, sorry. I'm in my bathroom because this is an Indian shower curtain. I'm in my little Indian getup, you know, in honor of our girl Priyanka. So anyway, he was nominated for a, it's not People's Choice Award. What the heck is it? My brain is gone. I'm too excited. So let's get to the fun part. You can look all that up on people.com. You can watch all their videos and see all their gorgeous photographs at people.com, or just Google them. They're everywhere. I've been watching them on YouTube all day. But what I want to talk to you about is what I do. See this? This is their Vedic astrology charts. Now, Vedic astrology is the ancient system of India. This is the Indian system of astrology. It's quite different from the Western system. And one of the things it's best at is looking at love. And in fact, to this day, if you're in India, most marriages are arranged. And most people are Hindu. Now, they have 1 billion people, like I said, so they have hundreds of millions of people that aren't Hindu. But most of them are, and if you are a nice Hindu person in India, for the most part, you want to get the blessing of your family astrologer or your village astrologer. Now, Priyanka is an incredibly untraditional girl. She went to high school here in America. She eats cheeseburgers. She says it's the best thing about America. So she doesn't strike me as a super traditional Indian girl, but she is extremely family oriented, and she does make a little shrine everywhere she goes, and she does do prayers every morning. But I don't know if she had anyone look at their stars. So Priyanka, this is for you. Okay. So first of all, let's start with her. Why is she such a superstar? Why is she such a big deal? Why is she the biggest star out of India and the first, truthfully, to cross over so successfully. Of course, we have Frida Pinto, who wasn't a big star in India when she became known here. And then there's Dev Patel, of course, but he's from London. And there's, of course, others, but none as known or as massive as her. So what strikes me right away, so she's July 18th, 1982 at 1:30 a.m. in Jamshedpur, India. What strikes me right away about this beautiful young actress mogul is her rising sign is Taurus and her moon sign is Taurus. And not only that, but her moon is in a beautiful Vedic constellation called Rohini. And this made perfect sense to me. So Taurus is the natural sign of wealth and accumulating wealth. Taurus is love, beauty. They love food. So of course she talks about food all the time. She talks about beauty all the time. She talks about fashion all the time. She goes to the Met Gala and wears these incredible costumes. She came to America because she didn't want to wear high school uniforms. She wanted to have the freedom to dress however she wanted to. That's actually why she came for high school here. She had cousins here. Anyway, but the thing that's really striking though is that Rohini thing. So her moon sign is Rohini, and Rohini is one of the original 27 Vedic signs, and it is the most beautiful, the most musical, the most known for love and cooking and dancing and singing. And there's this gorgeous myth about Rohini, that Rohini is the favorite constellation of the moon, and that the moon is married to the 27 constellations, and he spends one night a month with each of his 27 wives, and his very favorite rather, is Rohini, because Rohini is so beautiful, so pleasant, so pleasing, so about pleasure and the conjugal arts, wink, wink, wink. So what do we have? We have this gorgeous woman who is known for all that stuff. I don't know about the conjugal arts part, but she's certainly a romantic, sensual creature in all of her movies. She just is. Now, having the moon in the first house makes you a bright, shining light. It makes people notice you easily. It gives you a lot of presence, and so of course she's impossible to not notice. You know, she's impossible to not notice, and so that's of course the first thing that I couldn't help but notice. Now, very successful rich people always have incredible second houses. She has a beautiful combo in the second house. She has Venus, Mercury, and then a little thing called the node of the moon, the north node of the moon, which we call Rahu in Vedic astrology. Venus and Mercury are forming an incredible yoga here that is very wealth producing. But Rahu, or that north node of the moon, always ramps things up. It always takes things to an extreme. So this is part of why she's, very successful. Now, she believes in astrology. She calls herself a Cancer in lots of interviews, and she's one of those rare people that's the same sign in both systems. She is a Cancer. She claims to be a homebody, even though she's never home from the sound of things. And she claims to be very emotional and very sensitive. But when you watch her, she's a party girl. She's so much fun. She's always having a blast with Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. She does pranks. She admits to loving to party and loving, to have a good time. And Venus people are always like that. Her rising sign is ruled by Venus. Venus is with Mercury in the second house. The second house is speech, and the second house is food. And you put Venus there, you're going to love to talk, you're going to love to sing, and you're going to love to eat. And then that sun in Cancer is in the third house, which is performing. So her destiny was clear. Now, in Vedic astrology, more important though than what sign you are and what rising sign you are and all that, are things like yogas. And yogas are the combinations of planet signs and houses. And one of the most beautiful yogas a woman can have is to have the sun, the moon, and the rising sign all in feminine signs. When a woman has that, she's considered a feminine goddess. She's considered very capable of knowing who she is, knowing what she wants, making good choices in relationships, being very connected to herself. And she talks like that. She describes actually winning the Miss World competition because she was so poised and confident. And this is a woman who loves adorning herself. That is a feminine grace, right? That is a feminine skill. She loves making herself a thing of beauty. And that, by the way, I have no problem with that. I think beautiful women should shine for all of us to enjoy, right? So she loves that. And this, her sun and her moon and her rising sign are all in feminine signs. So the moon and the rising sign, as I've already said, are in Taurus. The sun is in Cancer. All the signs are either masculine or feminine. I know that's crazy. Kind of like, why is French and Spanish every word either masculine? Every noun is either masculine or feminine. Who decides these things? I don't know. But in the case of astrology, it really works. So she's a feminine goddess who's here to shine, who's here to be wealthy, who's here to sing and dance and express herself. And love would be very dear to her heart. Now, what's interesting, of course, is she's 36. She's quite old for an Indian girl to be getting married for the first time. There's a tremendous amount of pressure all over the world for women to marry early, not just in India, but especially so in traditional cultures and Asian cultures. And I have tons of Indian clients who by the time they're 36, they are downright freaking out when they contact me like, where is he? Am I going to die alone? So what's nice for Priyanka is obviously her family has been extremely supportive from what she has shared. Her mother actually submitted her into Miss World. Her little brother wanted to get her out of his bedroom. She'd been away at high school. She came back. She took over his bedroom. And he told their mother about the competition to get her the heck out of his bedroom. How funny is that? But anyway, her family's been extremely open-minded, very encouraging, and they have not pressured her, apparently, to marry, and they haven't tried to marry her off. They haven't tried to pick someone for her. In fact, she's admitted to internet dating. Okay, ladies, so you think you're too cool to internet date? Well, Priyanka Chopra wasn't. In fact, she is investing in Bumble and bringing Bumble to places like India. What a genius is she. She wants to help empower women who normally don't have these options and choices. So I love her. Okay, but back to this. One of the things that strikes me that I find super interesting is there's all these subcharts, and my cat wants to ruin our video today. There's all these subcharts that talk about different aspects or areas of our lives. And in her marriage subchart, Saturn is with the sun and the moon, and Saturn suppresses things. Saturn delays things until the 36th year, which is actually technically the age of 35. So when did she meet Nick? When she was 35, okay? So had she come to me as a younger woman and said, when, Carol Allen, when? I would have told her to relax and not worry about it. And I have no idea if she's been stressed. Probably not. I'm just guessing. I think she's had some fun. I'm just guessing she's had options. Don't you figure? Don't you think maybe she's had a date or two? But anyway, her marriage chart, her subchart on marriage says marrying later is marrying smarter and to wait until at least the 36th year and on. So wham! She's 35 and here comes Nick Jonas, and then wham, they get married when she's 36. Exactly when the planet of blessings went into her 7th house. That happened in October of this year. Jupiter, the planet of divine gifts and blessings, moved into her house of partnership. What time is that? Time to marry. So Nick, why is Nick so lucky? Why does he get to be with the most beautiful woman in the world who's like taking over the world with her, self-proclaimed world domination, and it's working. She's not bragging. She's just acknowledging reality. So Nick's chart, of course, is very impressive. And what I'm struck by, okay, so he's September 16th, 1992 at 3:39 a.m. from Dallas, Texas, where my husband is from. You see, she couldn't have said no. He's a Texan. How do you say no to a Texan? I couldn't. They're extremely hot. Okay, so his chart, what strikes me right away about his chart is, first of all, for a couple to work together, they have to have a combination of the same sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign, or have them be in partnership. Without that, you're just not going to feel enough pull or enough bond or enough glue. So Priyanka, as I said, is a nice Cancer girl. He has Cancer rising. Ding, ding, ding. That's one. The other thing that strikes me right away, though, is her chart is feminine, feminine, feminine. He has the moon in a masculine sign. So he's got enough swagger, and he was able to pursue her, which he did. They texted for a while, and then when they actually did meet at a Vanity Fair Oscar party, after party, he fell before her at her feet, got on his hands and knees and said, "You're real. You're here. Oh my gosh, I've been looking for you my whole life." Anyway, again, you can Google all of this. You don't need me for this. But here's the part you need me for. So what's so funny about his chart, okay, see this? His 7th house, he's got Saturn there. Saturn rules India. Saturn rules older things. He has the planet Saturn in his house of partnership, ruling his house of partnership. What does that mean? It means he would very likely partner with someone older, partner with someone darker, because Saturn is things that are dark or black or, and specifically Saturn rules different countries. It rules India and England. And so what's he do? He marries an Indian woman who's 10 years older than he is, who became Miss World in England. I mean, I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. Now, he has 4 planets in Virgo. It's a really nice stack up in his 3rd house. The 3rd house is music, ding, 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 composing, writing. It's also performing, like I said, with her. He has a combination Stephen King has, which is a ton of planets stacking up in Virgo in his 3rd house. And Stephen King might have it in Gemini, so don't quote me on that. But he definitely has a stacked 3rd house, just like this kid. And so what is Nick doing now? Well, he's still writing, he's still performing, he's still singing, but he's also writing plays now, and he's producing. So he's still extremely relevant. He's not just hitching his wagon to her horses. I think the two of these two together are going to be quite intense. But here's the really exciting part. Here's the good news. So see this? This is an incredibly long, complicated technique from India used for centuries to arrange marriages. And I am blessed to have an incredible mentor who taught this to me. And we looked to this technique in a report called the Right Man Report. And if we compare the two of them and her chart with his, and we run them through the Right Man Report technique, known as the Kuta system, they get a fantastic score. Okay, so 5 of the steps in this 15-step technique are critical. If you're missing any of the 5, you're going to be very unhappy or frustrated with the person, even if you really love them. It has nothing to do with if you love them or not. It's more about, can you get your needs met? Do they bring out your best? Do you feel secure? Can you merge your lives? Can you have progress forward as a couple or not? Then it gets into things like, do you have agreement? Can you understand each other? Can you communicate? Is there chemistry? And then 3 of the steps are extra special, and they have to do with, will you feel that magic? Will you feel that special something? Will you feel that meant to be kind of thing? And I am so happy to report, you guys, this is rare. I don't see this all the time. They have all of it. So they have all 5 of the most important critical steps fulfilled. So they have no rocks in their shoes. They have no big bugaboo that's going to derail this, beautiful love story. Then they have the same sensibility. So agreeing on stuff, hearing each other, being able to comfort each other should be easy. Then of the 3 really special things, they have one of them, you only need one to feel like soulmates, right? They have one and they have it mutually. Now, sometimes it's just from one person to the other. And so one person will be way more gaga or way more bonded than the other. But in their case, they have it reciprocally. So he feels this for her, she feels it for him. It's technically called innate giving. And innate giving, when both people feel this innate giving thing, what it means is they're happy to make incredible sacrifices for each other. They're happy to knock themselves out to please each other, and they will go to great lengths to make sure the other person is fulfilled. And they will be astonished at how generous they will be. They will behave with them differently than they've ever behaved in any other relationship. So they'll be more selfless. And, you know, I'm here to tell you, married 21 years, marriage takes a certain amount of selflessness. You've got to really care about that person as much as you care about yourself. And you can't think about, well, what's best for me? You have to really think about what's best for the relationship, what's best for our lives, not just how I feel about it. And these two, I think, will naturally be able to do that. What I also love is they're both from really strong families, and they're both, you know, very loved. And when people have that foundation of being so deeply loved, and then they have that foundation of watching their parents deeply love each other, this stuff becomes kind of like riding a bicycle. It's a lot easier once you find that right person. And then lastly, they have this fantastic thing. See that number at the bottom here, 26? Am I pointing at it? Yes, right here. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, see that number? So that reflects their inherent, what's called wavelength score. And this is a 15-step technique where you get a series of points possible. And in the end, you aggregate them all and you get a wavelength score. And it's between 0 and 36. Anything over 20 is excellent. Anything over 25 is really strong. I almost never see anything over 30. So they have 26. So, you know, they have all 5, like I said, of the critical things fulfilled. They have a mutual soulmate connection, and then they're on the same wavelength. So I think they really have a shot. Now, we all know double celebrity marriages where both people are celebrities are extremely challenging. Temptation, attention, huge egos, crazy schedules, etc., 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 make it very, very hard to go very far. But again, what I like is he's from a background of tremendous faith and family strength. She's from a background of, you know, tradition and happy family. So I am rooting for them, and I'm not going to look ahead and try to predict, but I feel great about them. I'm very happy for them. Their wedding looked spectacular, and it's so nice for the rest of us to see symbols and examples of beauty and happiness and unbridled love and joy in the world, isn't it? So thank you, Nick and Priyanka. God bless you both. And I can't wait to look at the chart of your children. So bye, everybody, until next time. Oh, and if you want to write me a report, go to soulmatestars.com/write man report. Until next time, bye.